Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
Oh man, I fully forgot that about time change, about just about everything that needed to be done.
Well, I'm glad you forgot because if you hadn't forgot, I'd have been an hour late because our clocks changed and yours didn't. So,
Yeah, everything. Dude, we do this every year. Every year we cannot figure this out. And it's like, I don't know what it is about like time zones and time changes that it just, my brain isn't, it's not doing it.
that's okay. We're here now. And yeah. Do you know how I gave you so much shit for all the like Googles you talked about your skin and like eczema and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I never listened, right? Not to one. And now I have like this spot of psoriasis. Do you see? It's not a pimple. I wish it were because I could just pop it and then it would be like a week. Maybe it'll leave a scar, but it'd be gone. This is psoriasis. Don't know how to get rid of it. And
Interesting.
well, who might know.
Interesting. Wow.
It's
Wow.
hubris, man.
Maybe you should listen to some past episodes, young lady.
Yeah. No, who's got time for that? Just tell me what to do, Liz. Tell me what to do.
Is it only on your forehead? Is it?
I might have some on my scalp, but I mean, I can't see that. I don't care about that. This is what I care about.
Yeah. Have you changed shampoo or anything?
No. I don't know what caused that.
Also, like the time for your body to be stressed out was when you were getting ready for your taping. So is it like post taping stress? Like your body's finally ready to like?
You know what? Actually, I should be thanking my skin for like not doing that before my taping. Because it was like, well, actually, no, it gave me a zit. My skin was like, and like here. It's like, where's your dress? The neck cut there? How about right here?
Yeah.
But it saved my face, I'll say that. So now, yeah, maybe it's like this post
Dude, my
situation.
skin 4 days before my taping and like a week after my taping was horrific. Like truly horrible. And the day of, I was like, whatever. I don't know what's going on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Do you know what is cool is that like people have seen us, okay? So it's like, whatever. I can have a big zit for that taping. They'll come to the internet, see our podcast, and be like, oh, this is what she looks like without that stupid zit. You know?
That's how it is. You just got to make videos every week so people could be like, nah, that's not a forever zit. That's
Documented.
yeah.
That's not a forever zit.
I have truly so much to say. I did van life for 3 days. I did van life for 3 days.
Well, I'm guessing by that pause, it didn't go so well. Why would you
Oh yeah, please. Why would I
allow a man to steal your power like that? Living in a van.
Don't release your power. Don't do it. What's funny?
I'm a 5-star bitch. Sorry.
I'm sorry. These pillows need.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. I have a new joke that I've written that I really like about how I'm never going to go camping, right? I basically have said this relationship has been a slow cult-like initiation to get me to go camping. That's been the last year. And so, it's actually kind of interesting. I booked this casino in his best friend's town in Oregon. And so I booked this casino, and then I booked around it. So I booked Portland, and I booked Bend. And then the woman, it's this older lady, that booked me at this casino in Oregon, had booked me months before at a casino in Bumblefuck, California. And it went fine. Like, casinos, like, it pays really well, but I was very nervous, but it went fine. Like, nothing about it did I feel like it didn't go well. And a month later, she fired me from this Oregon
Oh,
casino.
is that woman? Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. And, it is what it is. I've never been fired before. And she was nice about it, but, like, it was like, whatever. But I was never able to fill that gap. So I had Bend on a Thursday, nothing, and then I had Portland on a Sunday. And Evan was, like, always going to come with me. And then because we had this gap, it just turned into, like, what do you want to do? And then it was like, camping? And I was like, never. And then it just turned into I could baby transition maybe into like a van, and then it was us researching vans, and then I was like, can I have a toilet in my van? He's like, vans don't have toilets. And then we found one with a toilet. That's actually what my Google is, because this van toilet was crazy. But yeah, we did.
You found a van with a toilet?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Not an RV.
Not an RV, a van.
It's like you bought a Toyota Corolla with a toilet. How do you do that?
It's actually the passenger seat. They cut a hole out of it. And then it goes right.
I have to pee. You have to get out.
Or just like, instead of looking like, like you're in an Uber and you're a passenger, you're like, I'm gonna get in the back and pee. It's like, okay. Yeah. So there's this website called Outdoorsy. It's like Airbnb for vans and RVs and stuff. And we found a van. It had a toilet. You get 15 flushes, like they're like charges or something. I'll have to explain it better later. So I was like conserving my flushes. I peed outside twice. It's my big. I peed outside.
That defeats the purpose of having a toilet in a van.
Sure, believe me, I didn't want to pee outside for either of those, but he was just like, this is the beginning of camping. Like, try peeing outside. What was I going to say? Oh my God, it was...
You're breaking up with Evan?
Yeah, that's what this podcast is. I'm breaking up with him. Yeah, I probably broke up with him like 4 times. It was... Okay, so my first observation is, if you've slept at an airport, you've slept in a van. It's about the same. Right? The comfort level is similar. You're kind of, you
sleep in an airport out of necessity. You sleep in a van because you're white.
Well. I really learned I have an issue with being, like, I'm going to say alone, but that doesn't make sense because Evan's with me. But like, we would go down these bumpy roads, like truly the bumpiest roads. Then we would be like deep in a forest, and he's like, this is perfect. And I'm like, he's like, we're near no one. And I'm like, what? Like, and then it was beautiful. Like this, you could see every star in the solar system. It was nice. We made a fire, but like me, I already have sleep anxiety in my apartment that I've lived in for years. Like, the intrusive thoughts that would come in right as I was about to like try to fall asleep, which is just like, I don't know. And but at least like there's like walls, and it's like, this van has been built up to be like insulated and stuff. It has drawers and.
Wait, you sleeping in the van or in a tent? Like, what's going on? Paint me a picture here, because I'm lost. All I know is you're in a deep forest with a toilet and a van.
So we slept in the van. I'm not ready for tent. I don't think I could sleep in a tent. I'm scared. I'm
no
scared
fucking way.
With walls and like locks. It was like like the amount of times I'd be like, "Did you lock the van?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, like I'm just like holding the key. Any sound was like it started raining, and I was like, ah! Like I enjoyed it. Like, I had fun. I could never do by myself, ever. Like, he has an ex-girlfriend that, like, lived out of her car, and that is wild to me. Like, I just, as a woman, don't think I could. As a woman with anxiety, I don't want to put all women in a box. As a woman...
I'm going, like, maybe that's not such a bad idea. If I paid for a car instead of an apartment, I have a Soho House membership. Why don't I just shower there? Like, why am I paying for comfort?
But that's the thing, is like, I feel like every experience, I just learn more and more how city I am. Like, we were collecting, I wish it was like recorded. It was like a scene in a movie. Like, he was like, hey, let's collect sticks to make a fire. And I'm like, is this a good stick? And he's like, no. And I was like, what about this one? He's like, you're picking up tiny wet sticks. Stop it.
What were you supposed to do? Where are you finding non-wet sticks?
I don't know. I don't know where he got all these. I mean, he said all of them were like a little wet, but I literally, truly like his pile. You know, it was like out of a movie. Like his pile is like huge, and I'm just like, I got 2 sticks. Like, like just so worthless.
You're like, I have a space heater. He's like, no,
Yeah.
what?
What? How'd you get that? um, I do have. I got it last winter. Prakash told me about, like the little, like you break them in the little hand heaters or whatever that you can stick in your gloves. There's like one
Yeah.
you can plug in, and it's really, really good. You have to like keep it in your pocket. It doesn't work well if it's like out in the world, but you would just like keep it in your pocket, and it really made a difference. And I brought that.
This is supposed to be holiday vacation time.
Kind of. I mean, I had a show in Bend, and then like 2 days later, I had a show.
You're freezing to death.
I was quite cold. The van did have heat, but like that's the weird thing is that like the first night we slept with the heat on and it's like too hot, but then the other nights we didn't sleep with the heat on and it was too cold for me. So it's just like I don't know. I'm glad I did it. Let's start with that. I'm glad I did
Why?
it. Because my boyfriend's proud of me.
You're not passing the Bechtel test right now, you know.
I
I did it because it gave me points with my boyfriend. No.
What? Is that not the right answer? Well, just for context, or just for like what makes me proud of my relationship, is he knows I like vintage stores and little dumb towns and whatever. So, Sisters is like a town over from Bend, and it's just think antique shops and just cutesy whatever. And he was like, we went to a hot spring a couple hours from Bend, and on the way back to Bend, he was like, do you want to go to Sisters and like check out the town? And I was like, yes, I want a cup of coffee. Like I want to. So we were walking around, and there's so many antique stores, and I go into one of them, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to be outside. So he's outside on his phone. And then I'm literally like, this is the best antique store. Like I'm having like the best time, and I don't need anybody. This is what I do on the road by myself. So I'm just like literally having the best time touching old stuff, looking at things. And after like 20 minutes, he came in to find me. He was just like, what am I doing? He was like, this is your favorite thing. I should like come in. Because like when we got into the van, we found a place and we actually took a nap because we had, flown in from New York and we were both tired and I had a show that night. And so we took a nap in the van and he's like, I look over at him and he's like, like he's so happy. And he was like that the whole trip. Like, just, this is his jam. He's having the best time. He's cutting up wood. He's making a fire. He's like, look at the star. He's just like truly like the happiest I've seen him. And that made it enjoyable. Like that made it so happy, like so fun. So then the day that we went into town and I'm like, I got a cup of coffee and I'm in the antique stores. And he was just kind of doing the boyfriend thing where he sat on the bench and all of a sudden he's like, what am I doing? This is her favorite thing. I should at least come in. And I was like, look at these lunchboxes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ee. So
Fine.
So I think
It's a trade-off.
Yeah, and I also think like you never know. Like he even said like some of his favorite things, like he surfs and he rock climbs, and it was people that like invited him to do something, and he would have never discovered this on his own. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I'll discover something. At the very least, I already have jokes. Like I'm already writing jokes.
That's great. Yeah.
So we went to this hot spring, which you would have loved. It was awesome.
I would have loved.
Yes, you would have loved the hot spring. It's like, it wasn't that far into, it was very beautiful. You only walk from where you park your car. It was like truly like maybe a 5-minute walk. And then it's like these tiered hot springs where the hottest is like this kind of natural, it's like rocks, and that one's the hottest. This is the second hottest. And then as you go down, it becomes like almost like lukewarm. So the hottest we couldn't get into right away, but we ended up going lukewarm and then building up. It was awesome. It was stunning. Like, it was a really pretty day. I think it was maybe 65 degrees out that day. And then the hot springs, it's like you're just in like a natural hot tub. It's gorgeous. It's clothing optional. So at some point, like, we were walking back and I was like, I think I saw 2 dicks and none of them were yours. Like, I was like, that's not the math.
You're right. I would have loved it. Just,
I mean,
dicks in nature. That's, you know me so well.
No, it was just pretty, and we really did go at a time where there was like almost nobody. There was like maybe 6 people there, but it was just like I don't know. That's something we were in it, and I was like, hey, I love this, and I will never do this on my own. Like I would never like look on a map, drive somewhere, go, like I'm just not gonna do that on my own. So there's also
Yeah.
a part of me that's like the one thing I think I appreciate about, because I'm like a pretty good wingman. Like, how many times have you dragged me somewhere I didn't want to go, or Emily's dragged me somewhere? Like, there's like, I put my foot down on certain things, but I'm like 85% like, yeah, I'll come. Like, I've kind of always been like, I'm just happy to be invited. And, as long as you feed me, I'm pretty good. Like, so I don't know. I can't tell you if I would do it again, but I can tell you
Right.
that I'm glad I did it.
Okay, well, good. I mean, yeah. He's
That
gonna
was
make
funny.
you go again. Huh?
Your response was like, I lost a friend. Well, this podcast is done.
Kind of. I'm just thinking about all the weddings that have been out in nature, and that I'm never going to another camping situation for anyone ever again. That's just done. I am too old. I've done it enough. I've hated it every fucking time. I'm not doing it again. You and Evan decide to get married. It better be, if you want to do it in nature, it's going to be on a beach. Mm-hmm. Or like in my front yard. I'm not going anywhere.
Maria says that we have to do it in her front yard or she's not coming.
You could do it in New York.
Okay.
Coney Island.
Okay. I am proud of myself. I think
I'm proud of you too.
It doesn't feel like it. He literally, it was like literally like the one parent was like, I'm really proud of you. And the dad's like, yeah, good job. But I did not die.
I guess my biggest question is like your takeaway from camping. Did you, other than like you made your boyfriend proud of you, did you feel any sort of connection to nature that you've been neglecting that side of you in life?
I mean, that's the thing is like, I like hiking and we've hiked a lot. And to me, that was the peak of nature I needed, is to go for a hike. Like, I like hiking. I like being out. I don't need to like spend more time with it. Like, it was cool to see, like we saw, I think we saw a coyote. We saw some chipmunks. Like that was always exciting. I definitely like being around animals from a safe distance. Just over there.
Would you ever go on a safari, like to Africa?
No.
Like in one of those jeeps when like the elephants are like just walking by?
I've never done like an African safari, but I have done like, sometimes zoos do stuff like that. Like I've been on like something similar where they're like closer, like you're in your car and you see them closer.
I'm talking like you're in Africa and there's nowhere to run.
Yeah, and if a tiger jumps in the van, you now have a tiger friend.
You have a new friend until he makes you lunch.
Yeah, no, I've never done that. I'm a little skeptical of the people that do that. Yeah, like,
Would Evan do that? I feel like Evan would do that in a second.
I don't know. But it was, I mean, I think the one thing that's gotten me where I am today, both like as a human and as a person that tells stories for a living, is that I'm like, okay, like worst case, I have a story about it. You know what I mean? Like I have an experience. So I'm glad I had that experience, and I'm glad that it was with somebody that knew what they were doing. Like if we got a van, this would be a completely different story.
But worth documenting.
For sure. I took a lot of pictures, took a lot of videos. This was such a pretty time to go because it's autumn and all the leaves. Like I was thinking this when we were driving, because I remember it was probably the first or second time I came to visit you in LA, and I'm like, look at that tree. That's a pretty tree. That's a pretty tree. Like I'm just
I've been thinking about that this whole time you've been talking. Just like how much of a nightmare you probably were to Evan. You see that tree? Look at that tree. Oh, there's a tree. Tree,
I was
tree, tree, tree.
I was that person because it was gorgeous. Like it genuinely was. Like I was like, oh shit, the mountains are right here. Those are mountains. Yo, this is some purple mountain majesty shit. Like this is crazy. Like it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was you know our life. Like we're in cities most of the time. Like you know
But
I've been
by design, Liz.
yeah, yeah no shit.
No, I
Bend
get it. I get it.
Bend was really pretty. I'd never performed in Bend before, and that was like really pretty, and like a cool small town. No, big town, small city. Um, yeah, I mean, even in general, I want to go to different places. I think there's only 6 states I haven't performed in or even been to. So it's
Which
like
6 states have you not been to?
okay, so it's like definitely North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana,
Fuck the Dakotas, you're saying.
Al-
Montana.
Alabama,
Hmm.
Mississippi. I'm pretty sure there's one more. Maybe New Mexico? What's in New Mexico? What's a main city in New Mexico?
Albuquerque.
No, I did Albuquerque. Yeah, I can only think of 5 right now. I think I'm like,
I've been to Montana a couple times. Never been to the Dakotas. There's a lot of states I haven't been to though.
yeah. I mean, Neil Rubenstein, who opens for me, he's been to like even whenever I'm just like, what about this place? He's like, oh, that place is awesome. Like he just finds the best in every city. He knows like the best place to get food and the best place to hang out and like. I mean that's what it's like always a joy like when we're on the road he was like we got to stop at this rest stop at this place they have the best this and I'm just like okay like I love like a tour guide even like Evan like he planned like where we like would camp out at and where we would go and the roads were really bumpy. I have to say I didn't enjoy how bumpy
If you
roads.
didn't enjoy it, I probably would have been really scared.
I
Like,
was
wait, bumpy as in scary or just bumpy as in
yes
like
I mean
nauseous?
like truly like good like this much like I mean, butt out of the seat, butt down. I'm holding every oh shit bar. I was losing it. And he's laughing because he's like, what do you think is going to happen? I was like, oh, I don't know, but my entire
What do
body
I think is going to happen?
thinks we're going to die.
Flipping over, falling off the edge? Are you like, what do you mean, what do you think is going to happen? I've become very scared. I mean, I've been in I remember being in Jordan and the guy was driving on like the edge of mountains, really fast, bumpy roads, just like, "Ah!" And I was like, I thought it was kind of fun. Like I was in a lot of danger, but I didn't, but like lately, I don't know, the past few years of my life have been terrified. And you remember when you were going down like a minor hill in California and I was like, Muffin, you gotta slow down. You gotta. 35 tops.
We were on a similar road in Oregon, and I was telling that exact story. And he was like, you were the adventurous one? I was like, maybe that's what it is there's always somebody that's like the adventurous one and someone that's like the logical, like we're all gonna die one. Like,
Yeah.
because, like, I was that to him, and then you were that to me. Like, I think there's always, it's a tit
Yeah.
for tat. I don't know. But it was good. I'm glad I did it. I didn't 100% hate it. I slept pretty well when I could get to sleep. And, you know.
Well, I'm excited to hear the jokes when I open for you coming
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
and
great.
just segueing right into the announcements there.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Um, yeah, when does this come out? This comes out next week. I'll be in Raleigh next week. So come see me in Raleigh. I have shows in Westchester, and then me and Maria are in Baltimore early December, and then we're in Batavia, Illinois. Have you ever been to Batavia?
No, I can't
See?
say I have. I'm really
Look at this
excited about it.
adventure- Look at these adventures we're having. And then I have more dates in the new year. Everything is at lizmealy.com.
Yeah, I think this will be out still before my reading. My reading for my solo show is November 10th, 5 p.m. in Angel. It's on my website, mariashahada.com. I got new like promo shots, but I was also sick as fuck. But it was too late to cancel because you know how like it was just like that night before my photos. I was like, it's just like sickness. I was just sneezing a lot, and I was like, oh my God, I'm really sick. I'm like, but I can't cancel everything the night before. So I showed up to this photo shoot just like, all right, I'm on a lot of medication. I'm going to smile. I hope you're really good at Photoshop.
How'd you turn out?
I don't know. I mean, like I've seen the like, what did she send? The contact sheets, and they look pretty good. Like I do look tired and like sick, but I'm sure you can just sort of Photoshop will take that away. But like they're all right. I was just rallying though, because it's just when you're sick, and it's like I had the energy during the shoot, but as soon as we stopped, I was like, yeah, I'm going to bed now. It's like Edinburgh. Like after the 30 days, you're just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm sick and I'm not speaking to anyone for a week.
Yeah, I do nothing for a month. Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sucked that I was sick, but we'll see how they come out. Anyway, that was mariashahada.com. And then you can follow us at Two Non-Doctors. It's the number 2 full word doctors on Twitter and YouTube. Email us, two-non-doctors, number 2 full word doctors at gmail.com. Talk to us. Tell us some shit. And follow us on Instagram at two-non-drs, number 2. My Googles are dumb this week. Well, first of all, I Googled how big is Tasmania, which isn't a health question. I just wanted to know because I was watching this show called Deadlock on Amazon Prime, and it came out of Australia. They're in Tasmania.
I've been there.
Really, really good show. It's like a thriller mystery comedy, and it's really funny.
Is it
But they're in Tasmania, and I know a couple. Wait, what were you saying?
is it sitcom? Like a comedy show?
It's not a sitcom, but it's like a thriller mystery, but it's humorous.
Okay.
So it's like an hour long. There's 8 episodes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really good. But I know a couple people from Tasmania. Anyway, Tasmania is half the size of England, if anyone cares.
I performed there. I think it's funny that I haven't performed in North Dakota, but I performed in Tasmania, Australia.
That is funny.
Yeah, I did a show there. I went there for a wedding. It's really cool. I really liked it.
So was it sunny? Because it seems like it's not a sunny place.
You know what it was
According to
happening? There was a wildfire. I can't remember where. It was dusty. Like if you ate outside, you would have like soot on your food. Like you literally couldn't, like it was, which is interesting because years later we had the wildfires from Canada, and we had like that smog, like that smoke that came into New York City, and like our sky was red and it was all nuts. But I remember I'd never experienced what I experienced in Tasmania, which is that for like, I think I was there for a couple of days, there was like soot and like, it was gross. It was weird. Oh no.
My light just ran out of battery, I think. Okay. I know like this, sometimes the sky turns orange here, and it's because of the Sahara Desert, like the orange sand from the desert for some reason blows over the sun. I just realized I have a very cartoon 5-year-old's understanding of anything.
You're like, they turned the lights out and that's why there's no sun.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's perfect. I'll Google it. So I was watching a movie called 25th Hour. It's like from 2003. It's Ed Norton. It has a lot of do you remember like stand up from New York in 2000, the early 2000s was all, just about like this ethnic group's like this and this one's like this, and it's okay because I'm talking about everybody.
Yeah.
They just put that in them. Huh?
Very Russell Peters.
Yeah. So they just put that in the movie. And Patrice O'Neill was in it. He played a bouncer. Anyway, there was one actor, and then I was like, his Russian accent or Ukrainian accent was all right, but I was like, I don't think this man is native Ukrainian, and he was American. He used to be a football player, but he died when he was 55 in his sleep. And so I Googled, why do people die in their sleep? But a lot of things, but there's,
Wow.
huh?
Just this whole, I want to know how
Oh,
many people
sure, yeah.
watching a movie where you're just like, this movie's only 2 hours, but 7 hours later, you're like, I've learned so much about this actor. I know why this guy died. This guy won a Tony.
Do you do that? I can't just watch movies anymore. I have to Google like who directed it, who wrote it, what the actors like, like how they got cast, what their audition tape was like, how they died if they're dead.
Um, a little bit. I watched like an animated thing. Because I'm missing Halloween with my brother, and we usually hang out. So we had like a little Halloween night where we watched movies, and we were watching an animated movie, and we're like, who is that guy? Like, I couldn't focus until I knew who the actor was that was the voice for it. But I usually do most of it afterwards.
Oh, I'm just doing it during because no attention span. Which actually someone wrote. Someone wrote to us. I should have read it. About like brain farts and shit.
Oh, okay. Great. Nailed it. I don't even know if we need to read it because we just exemplified it.
One of the reasons people die in their sleep is sleep apnea and the supine position. And I was like, well, wait, why does the supine position cause death? Because we do that in yoga. It feels like it should be a good thing for your system. And here's the answer. Obstructive sleep apnea. The supine position can make obstructive sleep apnea worse because it relaxes throat muscles, reduces lung volume, and makes it harder for airway muscles to dilate. Obesity supine death syndrome. The potentially life-threatening complication can occur in morbidly obese patients. The supine position can cause air trapping, collapse of small airways, and increased work of breathing. It seems like they're all the same. It's like you're in this position and it's just constricting your airways, and you get less air to the lungs.
What's the supine position?
If you're lying on your back, and this is what I think it is. This is what I think it is from yoga. You're lying on your back and your knees go, like say fall to the left, and then you like kind of twist to the right.
Oh,
okay. So you twist at the end of it's like right before you get into shavasana.
Who's sleeping like that?
I don't know if you just kind of end up in that position. I don't know. I've definitely I'm always tangled with Johnny. Our limbs are like everywhere, so I'm always in some sort of weird position.
Yeah, I can't really sleep on my back.
I can't sleep on my back. I try because it's supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah, and every time I'm like, I'm gonna die. I hate this.
And I don't want to sleep on my side because I'm afraid of getting the décolletage lines. You know what I mean? Your chest, getting chest wrinkles.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna get those wrinkles. I can't sleep any other way. I
love that you're resigned to it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Otherwise, I'm gonna have bags under my eyes from not sleeping. I just can't.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. I mean, I end up sleeping on my side anyway, too. Because, when you're asleep, you don't give a shit about anything.
No, I'm just trying to get as much Z's as possible. I'm just doing my best down there.
Yeah, so that was my Google.
Okay. So, to further explain what my last couple of days were, I told Evan the only way I would do van life is if we had a toilet. We found this van that had a dry flush toilet. I've never heard of it. I don't know anything about it. But they give you these charges and you get 15 flushes. So then I was like, okay, well, I mostly need it for nighttime because as everybody on this podcast knows, I pee at night a lot. So I was going to save all my pees because we were also doing stuff during the day. We were driving places and going places. So I peed in a lot of coffee shops and what have you. But I wanted to, we didn't even end up using all our 15 little charges or whatever. But Evan, after we left, he became obsessed with the fact that this dry flush toilet, he was like, how much do you think a regular toilet is? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, just give it a guess. I was like, I don't know, $200. He goes, a cheap toilet is $100. You can get most toilets for $180. You can get a nice toilet for $300. He goes, this dry flush toilet is $1,000. And I was like, what? I was like, I just thought that was wild. So this toilet, we took video of it. I've never think like little kid want to press the button. Every time I flush, she's like, I want to do it. Loved flushing this toilet. Wanted to watch it every time. Yes, please. Questions.
Can I guess what a dry flush toilet is?
Yes.
Is it the same as like what's on an airplane basically? It just like sucks. There's like barely any water and it just sucks like everything down with air.
That's like almost half of it. So basically, I'm going to describe it and then I'll say what the Google said. But basically, the way it would look is it looks like Teflon. Like it looks like yeah, like it sounds like you're peeing in space. So you pee in this, kind of like Teflon whatever, and when you press the button, it spins and it covers it, and then it blows it up. So now you have all this Teflon. So it's like it covered it, it blows it up, and then it pushes it down, and you have a clean new Teflon thing. So it's still there, but it's basically been like wrapped and pushed down and locked in place. Because you're on a van or whatever.
Because you have to change all of that like later. Like you have to empty. Like I know people who have canal boats, and they have to like empty their own toilets.
Yeah, and so this was like Evan did it, but it was like a trash bag. Like you just pick it up and it's a trash bag, but it's now all compact, and you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think,
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was like I was like, oh, this is like way. Think about like regular toilets where like they say they aren't sanitary because like if it doesn't have a lid, it's just like God, it's like bacteria going everywhere. It's none of that. Like it covers it immediately, pushes it down, gets new Teflon, and put like it's like. So you after a while you can start to see like the bumps from the toilet paper or whatever. But it was pretty incredible. So dry flush toilets use a liner of seal waste in an airtight container and then push it down. So you press the button when you flush the toilet, it twists and pulls the double layered liner to seal the waste. Waste is compressed. So the waste is compressed into the bottom of the container, and then a new liner is pulled in, and as it's okay, the new liner is pulled into the bowl as the twisted liner goes down. A new lining of barrier material recoats the bowl. So we even after we took it out, we flushed it just to see the mechanism of it, and it's just this thing that's like spinning. I have to say, like, I was talking about it on stage a little bit. Like, I want to know from like inventing the light bulb to inventing dry flush toilets. Like, how many steps did we take? It's pretty remarkable. And I don't know, like, and I just find it so funny that this version is like the most expensive toilet. Like this is like when you think of like golden throne toilets, this isn't what they think, but that's $1,000 toilet that I was using.
Because it's better, it's superior because it locks everything in and then you just take a trash bag out. Do other toilets, because I don't have a lot of experience, with van toilets. But do other toilets just dump it for you and then you have this like kind of like sloshy pee and poo thing that you have to deal with?
That's the thing is I don't know. Like, so we had water, so like we could like wash our hands, and there was like a stove and an oven. Like this thing had everything. It was crazy. So the water, you would turn on the water, wash your hands, wash the dishes, and it would go into this gray waste thing, and you would have to dump that out. So I don't know if that's what other toilets are. Or like, we went to the hot springs and they had toilets, and that's literally, it looks like a toilet, but you're just peeing into a hole. Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me when you go to ancient cities, as you do. Mm-hmm. And the toilets back then were just kind of like holes, like the nice ones will have like a bench and just hole. You should just kind of like public toilets. You just go and I have a random bruise on my hand. It really hurts, and I don't know where it came from.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Should we dry flush this episode?
Yes.
Are we done?
Yeah, we are. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you next week. Thanks to our patrons, by the way. You guys are the best.
Thanks, patrons.
Bye.